"Get out of my way, you useless fool." The words echoed through the mall as Jason shoved Emily's shoulder, sending her stumbling. Shoppers turned, eyes widening as laughter and whispers followed. He was proud, cruel, convinced she was still powerless. But she didn't crumble. Not anymore. She stood tall, calm, watching him with a secret he would never guess. Her new husband wasn't just anyone. He was a billionaire. Minutes later, a black luxury car pulled up. Outstepped men in tailored suits, their presence commanding instant silence. The same people who had stared at her with pity now looked at her in amazement. This is the story of cruelty, arrogance, and the ultimate reversal of power. What happened the moment he realized who she was with? Hello, welcome to African Moonlight Tales. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with your friends, and most important thing, turn your notification bell so you can get informed when I dropped another amazing story. Drop your thoughts and reactions in the comments. What would you do if your spouse tried to kill you and you survive? Will you take a revenge or disappear forever? Emily stepped off the bus with the kind of quiet that comes from learning how to disappear. No one in her hometown expected her to return. And if they had, they would have expected the same girl who left years ago, broken, with nothing but 2 torn bags and a heart cracked by betrayal. She pulled her coat tighter and walked down Main Street. Nothing had changed. Same cracked sidewalks, same diners where people still judged through windows, same memories of how she used to walk home crying because Jason said she embarrassed him. Now she walked with her chin level, steady, careful not to draw attention. Her phone buzzed, a simple message from Daniel. "They're safe." She smiled before she could stop herself. "Yes, I'm fine. I'll call soon." Nothing dramatic, just how he talked to her. Always soft, never pushing, never loud. He let her choose when the world learned she was Mrs. Daniel Hale. No one here even knew she was married. No one knew her life had changed. And for now, she wanted it that way. She reached her mother's house before she felt ready. The small porch light flickered like it always had. The doorbell stuck like it had when she was 18. The door opened before her knuckles touched it. "Emily." Claire's voice stretched into a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Wow, you actually came." Emily forced a gentle smile. "Hi, Claire." Claire pulled her into a hug that felt like being trapped. "Mom's inside. She's been waiting." Then she leaned back, scanning Emily's clothes in a single sharp sweep. "You traveled light. Guess nothing's changed." There was the first dig, barely disguised. Emily let slide. She had learned long ago not to wrestle with Claire's pettiness. Claire thrived on reactions. Emily refused to feed her. Inside, her mother stood at the table. Helen looked older than Emily remembered, her posture stiff as ever. "Oh, Emily." She wiped her hands on a towel and gave a tired smile. "You made it." "I did." Emily stepped closer. "How are you, Mom?" Helen hugged her lightly, warm but not home. "You should have called ahead. We would have prepared something." "I didn't want to fuss," Emily answered. Claire snorted. "You don't say." Dinner felt like sitting on thin ice. Every sentence broke the surface a little. Helen asked vague questions about where she'd been, what she'd been doing, who she'd been with. Claire didn't even pretend to hide her interest. Every time Emily paused, Claire leaned forward, waiting for a crack she could pry open. "So you're back for good?" Claire asked, stabbing her salad. "Or is this another one of your phases?" "I'm not here to talk about phases," Emily said quietly. Claire chuckled. "Right, of course. You always hated being honest about your mess." Helen sighed. "Claire." "What?" "I'm asking a question." Emily placed her fork down. "I came home to visit." "That's all. That's all." Claire repeated. "You vanished for years. You don't call. You don't send real updates. And now you say you're here to visit like we're distant cousins." Her smile stretched sharp. "What happened?" "Things fall apart again." Emily felt the old heat building under her ribs, the heat she used to mistake for shame. Now she recognized it as anger she had learned to hold steady. "I'm fine," she said. "Better than fine." Claire's eyes narrowed. She didn't like answers she couldn't control. "Sure, I guess fine is what broke looks like these days." Helen reached out. "Claire." "Mom, let's not pretend." Emily doesn't have much to her name right now. It's okay to admit it. We're family. Emily kept her voice level. "What makes you think I'm broke?" Claire blinked. Well, aren't you? She said it with a laugh, like the idea of Emily having anything was ridiculous. Emily almost wanted to tell her. Almost. But she kept the truth tucked deep inside. She'd reveal it when she chose, not when baited. After dinner, Emily excused herself for air. That's when she heard Claire's voice drifting from the kitchen, sharp and whispering fast. She came back empty-handed. I told you she would. She's still desperate. She'll be easy to use again. Emily froze. Jason's voice came next, low but clear. Good. That's what I need. If she's desperate, she'll take whatever help I offer. Emily pressed a hand to the wall, steadying herself. Jason was in the house. Claire had let him in. They were talking about her, as if she were a project, a tool. Claire laughed. Just play along. She trusts too easily. She still sees the good in you. It's pathetic, honestly. Jason scoffed. She should. I took care of her for years. Claire lowered her voice. And you'll get another chance now that she's alone again. Jason sighed. Maybe. Depends how much she hates me. Oh, please, Claire said. She still wants you. She's always wanted you. She'll take whatever scraps you give her. Emily shut her eyes, not from tears, but from the sharp sting of recognition. Claire had stayed in contact with him all these years. The same Jason who humiliated her, cheated on her, painted her as unstable. She stepped back carefully, not making a sound. She didn't want to walk in and show them she had heard. She didn't want them to see how deeply they had underestimated her. She stepped off the porch and walked toward the sidewalk, needing a moment to think, to breathe. None of them knew she was married. None of them knew the life she had built. They still pictured her as the girl Jason broke. Emily walked until she reached the corner store. Her phone buzzed again. Thinking about you. Everything all right? She typed back, just family things. Nothing new, Daniel replied. Call if you need me. I mean it. She smiled faintly. I know. She stepped inside the store, needing water, needing something to ground her. People shuffled around, chatting about sales, kids tugging on sleeves, normal things. Then she heard it, a familiar laugh. Confident, mocking too loud. Jason. He rounded the corner, phone against his ear, smile wide. He didn't see her yet, bragging about something small and stupid. She wanted to walk away, but she froze just long enough for him to turn and spot her. Everything in his face changed, surprise first, then smug satisfaction. Well, look what the wind dragged back. Jason hung up without saying goodbye and walked toward her with swagger that made shoppers glance up. Emily kept her face calm. She didn't want this scene. Not here. Not with strangers watching. Jason stopped right in front of her. Didn't expect to see you walking around like everything's normal. Figured you'd be hiding at your mom's. She said nothing. He smirked. What's the matter? No comeback today. He stepped closer. Too close. Still soft, huh? That's your problem. Still soft, still weak. Emily reached for the space between them and moved aside, but he shoved her shoulder, not hard enough to knock her over, just enough to humiliate her. Get out of my way, you useless fool. You're nothing. Heads turned. Someone gasped. A cashier paused mid-scan. A little boy stared wide-eyed. Jason chuckled, shaking his head like he pitied her. You still walk around like you're worth something. It's cute. Emily straightened, calm, still controlled. She refused to bend. She refused to give him one drop of the emotion he wanted. He waited for her to break. She didn't. That annoyed him more than anything. He scoffed loudly and pushed past her, making sure the shove was public enough for everyone to see. She watched him walk away, her heart steady. Not shaking this time. Not bleeding. She knew something Jason didn't. This wouldn't end how he expected. She turned to leave the store, ready to breathe again. She didn't know yet that he wasn't finished. She didn't know that minutes from now, the entire mall would fall silent because of her. She stepped outside, cool air brushing her face. She checked her watch. Almost time for Daniel's call. Then she heard a voice behind her. Emily. She knew it was Claire before she turned. Claire walked quickly toward her, cheeks flushed, anger simmering. What did you say to Jason? Emily blinked. Nothing. What? He just stormed past me like I ruined his life. I asked him what happened, and he said you were being dramatic again. Did you start something with him? Emily stared at her. No, I didn't even talk to him. You must have said something, Claire insisted, stepping closer. Emily raised a brow. Ask him. Emily returned to her mother's house, but the tension was suffocating. Voices floated from the living room, her mother and Claire arguing in sharp, nervous tones. I'm telling you, she's acting strange, Claire said. She didn't react to Jason at all, not even a tear. Helen's voice trembled. Maybe she's stronger now. Stronger or hiding something? Claire shot back. She's too quiet. Emily never comes home unless she wants something. Emily stepped into the room. I'm back. Both women jumped. Later that night, unable to sleep with the weight of their judgment, Emily slipped out and walked toward the mall. She needed a public place, somewhere she could breathe without feeling watched. Inside, the crowd moved lazily between stores. Holiday sale signs glowed. People laughed, living uncomplicated lives. Emily walked without direction, trying to stop thinking. Then she saw him again. Jason spotted her before she could turn back. His eyes lit up with something mean, something eager. He was still angry she hadn't given him the drama he wanted earlier. He walked toward her with that same arrogant swing. Well, he said loudly, if it isn't the princess who thinks she's too good to talk to people. Emily kept her voice steady. I don't want any trouble. Jason laughed. Too late. You already made a fool out of me back there. You made yourself look that way, she said quietly but sharp. His eyes darkened. You still have that attitude. No wonder everyone gave up on you. A few people nearby slowed their steps, sensing conflict. Jason stepped closer, lowering his voice, but not his hostility. You think you're somebody? You're not. You never were. Emily didn't move. She wouldn't give him the satisfaction. He leaned in. You know what your sister told me? She said you came back broke and desperate. Said you have nowhere else to go. He smiled. And she's right. Emily flinched before she could stop herself. Jason saw it and smiled wider. Still soft, he whispered. Then louder. Don't pretend you have pride now. You're nothing. He shoved her again, harder this time. She stumbled back, but didn't fall. She planted her feet and stood tall. People stopped walking. A circle formed. Whispering started. Jason smirked. Look at you. Can't even protect yourself. Emily straightened. I don't need to protect myself from you. Oh, yes, you do, he said. You always will. She met his eyes with a calm he didn't expect. Not anymore. Something shifted in Jason's expression. He didn't like her calm. He liked her scared, quiet, apologizing for things that weren't her fault. He opened his mouth to spit out another insult, but the sound of tires screeching outside cut him off. People turned. A black luxury car rolled to a stop at the curb. Not flashy, but commanding. Expensive without trying. The kind that didn't belong in this small town. Jason frowned. What the hell? The doors opened. Men in tailored suits stepped out, 3 of them. They moved with purpose, each step confident, controlled, powerful in a way that caught attention instantly. A hush fell through the space. Even the teenagers who had been laughing went silent. The men didn't look at anyone except Emily. Jason followed their gaze and slowly turned to stare at her. Emily kept her face calm, though her heart thudded. She hadn't expected Daniel to send anyone. She had told him she was fine, but he must have sensed something in her messages. The men approached. The automatic doors slid open. Their polished shoes echoed across the mall floor. Every head turned. One of them stopped a few feet from Emily and bowed his head slightly in respect. Mrs. Hale, he said clearly, loud enough for everyone to hear. We've come to escort you. Jason's face drained of color. Claire, who had just walked in from the other side of the mall, froze in place. Helen, behind her, clutched her purse like it might steady her. Emily stayed still for a moment, letting the silence stretch, letting the truth settle in the air. Then she exhaled and looked straight at Jason. My husband is waiting. Jason's mouth dropped open. Claire's eyes widened. The entire mall seemed to hold its breath. People whispered Daniel's name before he even stepped inside. They didn't know who he was, but they felt it. His presence moved through the mall like a quiet shift in the air. Daniel walked in with calm steps. Nothing rushed. His eyes went straight to Emily. He touched her arm gently. Are you all right? She nodded. I'm fine. He studied her face, then looked at Jason with quiet intensity that felt colder than rage. What happened? Daniel asked Emily softly. Before she could speak, Jason forced a laugh. This is all a misunderstanding. Emily, Daniel said, ignoring him completely. She gave a calm answer. He shoved me. Jason stiffened. It wasn't like that. Daniel's jaw tightened. If you put your hands on her, even once, that is enough. Jason swallowed hard. You've got it wrong. Emily didn't add anything. Her silence cornered him more than words. Daniel turned to Emily. Do you want to go home? Please, she whispered. He nodded. His men closed in smoothly, creating space around them. The crowd parted like water. Jason stepped forward. Wait, Emily, did you tell him anything? About us? About the past? Emily looked at him without blinking. She didn't answer. That silence rattled him. His face twitched, confidence slipping. You didn't tell him, right? You wouldn't twist it. Daniel lifted his head slightly. His men stepped between Jason and Emily with an unspoken warning. Emily leaned closer to Daniel. Let's go. He placed his hand lightly on her back, guiding her out. Claire and Helen hurried toward Emily. Claire's voice cracked. Emily, wait. We need to talk. We didn't know. But Emily kept walking. Daniel didn't look at them. His silence stung them worse than any harsh word. As they stepped outside toward the car, Claire grabbed Helen's arm. She's lying, Claire whispered. There's no way she married a man like that. Helen stared, shaken. Claire, did you see those men? They called her Mrs. Hale. Claire pulled out her phone. If she won't tell us the truth, we'll find it another way. Emily didn't hear any of it. She slid into the back seat beside Daniel. The door closed. The chaos stayed outside. For a moment, she didn't speak. Daniel reached for her hand gently. You don't need to talk until you're ready. She leaned back. He hasn't changed. Not at all. No, Daniel agreed. Men like him rarely do. After silence, Daniel looked at her. That wasn't the first time he behaved like this, was it? She shook her head. He treated me badly for years. Back then, everyone believed him. Even my own family. Daniel's eyes softened. And now? She gave a sad smile. Now they still believe him. Daniel watched her, then said quietly, I'm sorry you went through that alone. It's different now, she said. I'm not alone anymore. His hand tightened around hers. When they reached her mother's house, Daniel got out with her. Claire and Helen stood on the porch, both pale. Claire stepped forward with forced confidence. We didn't know you were with someone. This is unexpected. Daniel nodded politely. Emily needed support tonight. Claire blinked, thrown off by how calm he seemed. She had expected arrogance or coldness. She didn't know what to do with a man who spoke gently without lowering his power. Helen stepped closer. We're glad she has someone. Emily looked between them, reading every twitch. Claire was planning something. Daniel gave Emily one last look. Call me if you need anything. I will, she said softly. He kissed her forehead, simple and intimate, then stepped back. Claire's mouth dropped slightly at the gesture. Helen's hand trembled. After the car drove off, Claire broke first. Okay, Emily, you expect us to believe that man is your husband. Emily walked past her. Believe what you want. That's not an answer, Claire snapped, following her inside. How did you meet him? When did you get married? Why didn't you tell us? Because it wasn't your business, Emily said quietly. Claire scoffed. So what did you do? Trick him? Hide your past? Emily stopped and turned. No, I didn't lie about anything. He knows everything about me. Claire's jaw clenched. You expect the world to accept this when you've always needed help from everyone? Emily stared at her with unnerving calm. I didn't chase him. I didn't ask for anything. I didn't pretend. He chose me. That night, as Emily lay in bed, her phone buzzed. Daniel, you didn't tell me everything, did you? Emily swallowed. About what? About him. What about him? Daniel hesitated. He once pitched a proposal to my company. A very dishonest one. He was blacklisted for it. Emily's heart dropped. What was the proposal? He was trying to use someone's name to get access. He never said who. I think I know now. Emily stared at the message. Jason hadn't come back for closure. He wanted access to her husband's world, and Claire had helped him. The worst part? This was only the start. Emily barely slept. By morning, she felt the weight pressing down. She got up and found Claire in the kitchen, scrolling her phone with a satisfied grin. Morning, Claire said with fake sweetness. Sleep well. Fine, Emily said. Claire leaned on the counter. You know, I searched Daniel last night. Rich, private, barely any photos. Almost like he's too good to be true. Emily kept her back turned. He values privacy. Convenient, Claire said. If you want to claim you're married to some billionaire, shouldn't you prove it? I don't have to prove anything to you. Claire smirked. Then you won't mind when people start asking questions. Emily walked out. Her phone buzzed. Daniel, are you all right? Not really, she typed. Wanting to come get you? No, not yet. She started walking to clear her head and ended up at a small coffee shop. As she sat with her drink, a voice startled her. Emily. She looked up. Katie, an old co-worker. Katie. Emily hugged her. Katie sat across from her. Jason already made your life hell again, didn't he? Emily gave a tired smile. Something like that. Katie leaned closer. He used to brag about cheating on you long before you found out. He told people you were practice until he found someone with real value. Emily went still. Katie reached out. I'm sorry. He talked like he owned you. Emily swallowed. Thank you for telling me. She left the shop, feeling hollow. Her phone chimed. A news alert. The headline punched her. Local woman allegedly manipulates reclusive CEO in his sudden marriage. Emily's hand shook. Photos of her from the mall. Pictures of Daniel, cropped to look cold. Quotes from sources saying she had unstable behavior. Someone close had fed them lies. She called Daniel. He picked up immediately. Emily, did you see it? Yes, she whispered. We can shut this down. I'll make a statement. No, wait. I want to see how far this goes. Emily, I need to know the truth. There was a pause. I'm here, whatever you decide. When Emily returned home, another message came, an unknown number with a photo attached. Her breath caught. Jason and Claire. Old photo, his arm around her. Claire leaning into him. Their heads too close. The truth hit like ice. Jason hadn't cheated with strangers. He had cheated with Claire. Another text. You should have known. They always chose each other over you. Emily didn't remember walking into the living room. She only remembered holding up the phone. We need to talk, Emily said, her voice low. Claire looked up. About what? Emily held out the phone. Explain this. Helen leaned closer. Is that you and Jason? Claire's jaw tightened. Where did you get that? It doesn't matter. Explain why you were with him while I was with him. Claire scoffed. It's an old picture. You were cheating with him. Emily's voice cracked. Claire crossed her arms. You push him to cheat. What? Jason and I got close because you were impossible. You cried all the time. You accused him constantly. What did you expect? Emily stared. Not betrayal from my own sister. Claire lifted her chin. He needed someone stable. Emily turned to Helen. Mom, you didn't know? Helen rubbed her forehead. I thought they were just friends. You believed her? Emily whispered. Before more could be said, headlights appeared. Jason stepped out of the car, marching toward the porch. Emily, he said, we need to talk. Daniel stepped forward. You won't be speaking to her ever again. Jason laughed nervously. You think you can control this? The truth already came out, Emily said calmly. Yours is coming next. Daniel opened a folder. Everything. He showed security footage of Jason cornering Emily. Signed witness statements. Transcripts of Jason's calls to tabloids. Evidence of forgery attempts. Jason's confidence crumbled. You can't prove. We already did, Daniel said. Your printer, timestamps, cloud account. You left a trail. Jason pointed at Claire. She helped. She told me to send those documents. Claire's denial came instantly. You liar. Daniel watched them unravel. This ends tonight. Security guards moved in, escorting Jason away. His last words were broken. She was nothing. Nothing. Emily didn't flinch. She simply watched him disappear. Helen collapsed on the porch. Emily, I'm so sorry. Emily stood still. You chose to believe him. You chose to take money to stay away from your daughter. Claire wiped her face. I don't deserve your forgiveness. Emily nodded. You don't. She looked at Daniel. What do you want to do? He asked gently. Emily looked at the house, filled with memories of wanting love she never received. I'm done here, she said quietly. I'm choosing myself now. She stepped off the porch. Daniel walked with her. As they reached the gate, reporters gathered, alerted by news of Jason's arrest. Cameras flashed. Emily, what have you learned from all this? one reporter shouted. She paused, her answer coming from deep within. Cruelty is loud, greedy, desperate, but self-respect is quiet, steady. And people who mistake silence for weakness usually learn the truth too late. The reporters went silent. Emily stepped forward into the lights, unafraid, her past unable to touch her anymore. She walked into the life she finally chose for herself. The end. If this story moved you, please subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us share more powerful stories of hope and resilience. Hit the notification bell, give this video a thumbs up, and tell us in the comments, what was your favorite moment? Where are you watching from? Remember, every subscription helps us build hope and give a future to those who need it most. Thank you for being part of our community. Until next time, keep believing in the power of truth and self-respect.